To do as you do, I only listen. I don't want to get this combined, intertwined in a jumbled mess of explanation, because really there's no way to rationalize this. For if I tried, it would take longer than it would for someone to cross the nation. It's outside of any reason, any form of rhyme, any pattern I follow with this. Am I committing a form of selfish treason by attempting to compile the words through the phrases I speak? For I become meek, scared to speak, when I sneak a glance and find your thoughts. Yes, you. That very mind, the imaginary tiny gears that go tick, 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 tick. The way you speak, each word feels like a message conveyed through more than just a screen. No, there's so much I haven't seen, things I never will, and still that's all right with me. I want to do as you do, but don't mistake me, I'm no fake. I don't strive to copy or steal, I merely want to feel if any of what you say is real, because I don't lie. I would want to ask you why. Some time from now, should I ask before I die? For tomorrow one of us could vanish from the earth. Would any of this be worth any sorrow? Would our eyes ever truly meet? To greet this fabricated reality feels like a cheat, yet without it, the book of my life would never be decorated by the words in the margins you annotated. Is it a game that you play? It would be a shame to give you all the blame, but without the words you say, the path I would have taken would have led me a different way. To consume is to be right, a sight I've never seen, not even a slight. I never felt a need, but now I only write, for this all only becomes a collection of crumbs, the traces, the sums of your stories. I couldn't bring myself to put you into any categories. As I spout these words one by one, I'm not getting any closer to being done. No, none of this is getting any clearer. I am restricted by so many English words, addicted to the pictures and poems you depicted. I can't gasp my mouth in an O and say this is something I predicted. You are the composer of too many, for you feel like a quarter to my penny, and without this nonsense, it's bliss. I don't mean to overstuff or make what I say any more rough to comprehend, to make these jargons all blend with seemingly no end, but gosh, all you ramble. Sure enough, maybe someday I will understand. I want to do as you do, to trace the paths you've taken. For now, any tiny steps down your beige-colored roads, I've only shaken at the thought of going to your height. But maybe it's all right. I've only mustered reasons to fight for your name in the papers I write. Not quite there, but all the while it takes just one flick of nothing less than your magic to make me smile. I can never do as you do. Never fully. Never grasp the way you see life, the lenses you see through that make you alive. I can strive but never reach, and I can preach, I can screech, but nothing will change. It's strange. But my heart remains the same, filled with admiration for your flame. I fear to say it, but I place your very being into this gold-rimmed frame. To do as you do, I never will. But I watch in awe at the things in life that you draw. To do as you do, I only listen. This is Somber Brown Eyes. I hear the croaking of the door as you drift past my view with a flowing white skirt, overhead lights with a yellow tint, hints and accents of the gray of the stones I used to throw through the mellow roads of my younger days. I lie as I sing, as the truth is all she speaks, a gaze soft, yet her words sharp. They cling to your heart, as her art she dared to share. Young one, with somber brown eyes, with thoughts flowing from here to the skies, and trinkets she carries, keys, cameras, cherries and berries, a trail so frail of wisdom follows. Her pacing of walking, the way that she's talking to me as we wander down hallways like two little strays, words exchanged through her eyes, eyes that see all to be, eyes that be all to see. Young one, with somber brown eyes, with thoughts flowing from here to the skies. You can never catch her long. Time is of the essence. Chime does the bell ring of the tasks she's meant to do, and off she hurries, with or without worries, either or, I don't have a clue. Her wrists adorned with charms and tiny little shoes as she walks with soft sound. Not always can you hear when she's around. She appears in your presence and leaves just as soon. She comes and goes just like the moon. Young one, with somber brown eyes, with thoughts flowing from here to the skies, a bag with pins, a where to begin, of old souls and bands that grab her hands and don't go loose, hair that blows in the air, a sweater she wears with a color so fair, she's the girl that sings to her own tune. A young one with somber brown eyes, with thoughts flowing from here to the skies, a mind full of feelings of the wind and the kind, from the arts to the studies, it all is combined. Ramona, the young one with somber brown eyes. Ramona, I'll call you, the one that life adores. Ramona, you young one, the one with the heart of an old soul, and it was the smile of life that you stole. This is the dead centipede I mourned. Outside my window, a dead centipede lies, soaked by the rain for too long. I gaze at it on fall afternoons as leaves turn brown and the grass, now brittle, is stuffed with mud. The scene of a long-lost rainy day lingers in the corners of the dirt. Now, on winter evenings, its body, dry and bare, has been consumed by creatures unseen but near. Broken fragments are scattered among small patches of plants. Why do I mourn the death of something I never knew? Of something I never understood? A warmth, a friendship with something so simple, an overlooked member of the earth. I hear only echoes of the garden and of my mind. Why do I mourn something I never knew? Yet one night in March, under a moon that rose high, I lit a candle, wishing the insect a peaceful afterlife. That night, it appeared in my dreams, and when I awoke, the body I'd watched for months had finally vanished. This is Half the Fight, Half the Money, Take 4. Working your face red should be working till you're dead. Arms ache, legs in dirt, sweat dripping down your shirt. You need the cash, but you're not about to crash. Taking it easy, making it breezy. Only putting in 15%, but don't start crying when all your money's spent. Here comes your check. Now you feel like a wreck. Don't know what's wrong, but in the back of your mind, you knew all along. You want to be strong, you want to belong. Keep working this way and you can say so long. Half the fight, not so bright. You'll only be working from here until the night. At least you're not working till the daylight. By the end of the week, the future looks bleak. Since you feel like a freak, you're really just a geek. Are we avoiding the work because you're weak? Taking the easy route until you're antique. Time rolls by faster than you can cry, just trying to slip on by. You want that money, but you're not about to try. Never working till there's something to buy. No dust in your eye. Why do you lie? Not just some phase. All your tasks are done in a haze. Half the fight, not so bright. You'll only be working from here until the night. At least you're not working till the daylight. Someday, I hope for you, these things will no longer be true. When the sun sets, work will be done, and you'll no longer have any worries. Put your all in. Don't just fight half the fight. Shut your weary eyes. Tomorrow should bring something right, because it's half the fight, not so bright. You'll only be working from here until the night. At least you're not working till the daylight. This has been going on 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 years. How long must this go on? Don't just fight. Have the fight. This is there ever a soul? Is there ever a soul that will hear? A soul that will hear the depths of my mind? I search far and wide, from the ground to the sky. I linger near the ocean and walk the desert. From the corners of the internet to the voids of the dark. The only thing I've got on my mind is a soul. A soul that will hear. And through travels, I find people. Lovely souls they have, with pretty minds and pretty eyes, but with all thinking left behind. They don't listen. They don't want to hear my rambles or my thoughts on death. They only want to hear the simple little things. They push away from questions that don't have solid answers. They don't go further than the shallow waters. So I spend time inside the little spaces, empty fields and forgotten roads, in hopes to find a soul that will hear. All I see is people who forget my name. Souls with big, bright eyes to see and pretty lips to speak, but not a single ear to hear. It is one day on my travels, and I finally find a soul in the corner of an abandoned road near the street, all alone. They say a little thing that might mean nothing to them, but it means everything to me. They said they'll listen to all of my thoughts and feelings. They said they'll listen to anything I have to say. But I made the mistake. I had the wrong person. Did I have the wrong thoughts, or did I just tell the wrong soul? Is there ever a soul that will hear? A soul that will hear the depths of my mind? Today is not the day, and I doubt it is tomorrow, the day in which I found a soul that will hear. This is Rising. How can strangers turn to friends? Must all be peace? If a plant is without support, may it fall? If one falls to sadness, may they rise again? Is there really one thing to fear? And is that simple tear? How can one that has reached the bottom rise? I ask that hearts grow from places of demise. Is the surface all that others see? Should some hear our deepest pleas? If rocks crumble from beneath our feet, will the depths of darkness be something we will meet? Alas, do not allow yourself to be consumed by the beasts of fear. With every storm brings sunshine most near. Fire is not always for burning. When used correctly, we can use it in turning. We may rise by letting go of our restraints. Rising, going up, we shall. Strangers may become friends. Hearts can be mended. We can rise from where it is we are. Be it you or me, just you see. This is Have You Ever Blued? The clock. Its little lines for legs couldn't have pointed any further than 32 if I had to assign it a form of guess. The mere act of becoming blue, brought up from a soul glancing out the window at the smallest bit of clouds. Have you ever blued? Like, to be blue? Like, sad? To do blue? In those moments flash through my mind images of blue paint, blue skies, blue treats, the sweet blueberries I eat at breakfast, raspberry lollipops with falsified sugar and their too blue to be true color. If blue is not to be sad, what does it mean to be blue? Scenes of the schoolgirl, the peaceful romance of Blue 2001, painted little sounds and dainty pictures of the film. This is going in a poem. What is that? Blue to be to blue, do blue, do blue. Have I ever blued? Have I ever done blue? Blue done how many times? What does it mean? Have you ever blued? This is The Crow Farm. If one were to raise their ears to the sounds of crows, allow themselves the generosity and vulnerability to chew on the bitterness of something further than plain, to feel its sharp, velvet feel of a mental cage down by a farm as the rain goes through, submerged to every nook, cranny, and uncanny brain-eating amoeba floating from the town, the water would drown. Brown and murky ghost town similar whispers now harmonizing with the creatures of the ground that always roamed. Broken twigs, wrapped by leaves, lay mixed with red acrylic paint, the hue of pomegranates intertwined with the bleeding color of crimson tulips. Sat around a corner, 45 miles south of an oil rig. Teenagers once used it as a dumping ground for pure angst and creative betrayal. What was once a farm within a town, full of an urge to scream freedom from all of life's restraints, now lies a space where only crows reside. This is Strays in the Road. The lack of a home, the lack of a tender piece of our own identities, to struggle to be behind a door, the door of comfort, of a place to belong, to only linger from wall to wall, and it appears all the doors won't open. Or perhaps they were never made to. At least, not for me. At least, not for them. Like a ghost following a crowd. Or was there ever a crowd to begin with? How am I to know that I'm not imagining the necessity of a community? On the streets, I observe abandoned runaway creatures as thin as a line, with small beady eyes filled with tears and mucus, the sticky little greenish goo. Do they know that their lives will only be marked with misery of not a single true home? Does the air they breathe, is that the only thing that may embrace them? For we as a society have chosen to further ourselves from that is dirty, diseased, and the chance we may catch misfortune ourselves. But to linger as a stray from home to home, from street to street, from dirty alleyways and freshly watered public parks, and from one depth to another, the journeys they must take. Each day is not a promised truth. To stray, to be nothing and everything all at once, to belong to nowhere, yet each place they find, to be as close as they can to a home. For each day they watch, observe, look, day by day as the sun rises and sets, clutching onto the scraps of the meals. At times, even that is not given. The lack of a home, or of a soul, or of anything and everything at all. These are the strays of the world. These are the strays of the road. And if you were once a stray, will you always be one? This is Soulaches at 3:40. I whispered to the ears of a stranger, a friend, foe, or another, about laying asleep in your dreams. Watching as the moon rose, a head warm with sickness, slowly growing weary, your soul hungry for a vision of a far-off world, a world of no mistakes, for flaws were never born. No nightmares that you hold so dearly, tightly, in the hands that have ceased to be yours. The roughness you cling to, turn to, a white noise machine has no bearings on your thoughts. As the crows that fly by the gray skies, the crickets chirping among black-tinted windows that smell of burnt meat and the scent of lilies, a soft breeze that carries memories of Nosutaroji. In your porch, the grass is only blue, the vibrant green washed from the rain of last September. 3:40 a.m. is the morning you awoke, the vision not yet given so swiftly to your heart. This is Cryptic Messages, take 2. I love being cryptic. Who else does? This message in a just too bright screen on my phone a bit too early in the morning. But like nobody ever said, the brains of a poet never truly sleeps. Just yearning, mourning, adoring some other random stranger they can't keep. I quite like that word. Cryptic. It tastes like it would be lime flavored. It smells like it favors the color of a robin bird. Cryptic looks like a tree. Or maybe it looks like a terror unimaginably free. You are just cryptic codes running through your blood, and your veins coursing through tiny specks or yellow poppy bubbles of your tissue. You've got this long string of a black void through your soul, and you need to pull it out. So, in short, without making you linger any longer than an old wizard guiding a young traveler down hidden stories, yes, I do very much love being cryptic. I love cryptic souls, items, and memories. I love cryptic people. Cryptic, yes, I am fond of. This is Pareidolia. That's what the medics propose. They preached this term, naming it however many decades ago. For you, can now call the act of recalling a face in a loaf of bread, bangs recently cut at the barber's office, a few blocks away from a broken home. The scent of fresh rain as you held a string of carefully handmade wooden beads round your neck, or seeing eyes in the foggy mist inside the edges of a sauna bathroom. The temperature is somehow warmer than you remember, your eyes stinging with regret as you ponder the shortcomings of decisions. The shiny white car that comes by every day, you glance at its headlights, resembling siren eyes. That siren-eyed car that swifts away a purple camellis flower. Pareidolia. Seeing the faces and the items, the ones that do not have a face. I see your face sometimes. I see a stranger more often. And even so, in rare moments, I see my own. This is what a human become tree. They told me they wish they were a tree. But I wonder, which tree would they be? One with leaves evergreen, or one whose trunk is brittle, nearly broken, hanging and clutching so painfully to life's grasp? A tiny speck in a sea of green, or the very eye they see. They seem happy. But to seem and to be are not the same. How we cover our souls with masks of labels. If they burn, does it pierce like needles through the skin, or more so a rapt embrace by the warmth of the flame? If I were a tree, maybe I'd turn into paper. And if we're to be paper, would on you be written fine poetry, a shopping list, or a love letter? Would you be a writer's rough draft, only meant to be thrown away? Or would you be the ending words of a bittersweet divorce, the last words of a pen pal, or the final draft of a novel? Could you be a page in an artist's sketchbook, meant to be ripped, painted on, and published for all to see? What tree would you be? Would you, a tree, live long and fair? Would your last words be dry and bare? They wish they were a tree? Is it better to be human? To feel and to think, to be and to seem? There are as many types of humans as trees, as paper. I wonder. I wonder. I wonder. This is If We Open Our Ears. In the current age of overpopulation, overstimulation, the age in which we dimp and sink our brains in dopamine, the type that is pumped loudly through a tinted, slightly cracked screen, one scratched by a tiny margin that reeks of pixelated lights of a crowd basement dusty with spiders, we disconnect by our detachment. Glue in our pieces of rubber metal bits, tune out the world, they say, with these shiny bits of technology we call headphones. I'm no better than any of the others of my flock. Give us some measly crooked hours within borders of wood and brick, or social expectations from others as young as ourselves. Without this metal we've so yearned for, wrote love letters to, grow desperately, ferociously obsessed over, we hear. We touch our living spaces. No sloppy weight needed. We hear the tapping of footsteps, the little whispers we manage to eavesdrop. Others' lives as colorful, intricate, and filled to their brims with potential and hope. Widen our eyes to marks left and right, left behind by previous generations of us, to remove our own ear stoppers, the unnatural music to our heads. We awake to the realizations of our true nature. This is Toothpaste. I once knew a boy with diamonds for eyes. With a smile, I deemed him my own. Tuesday morning, he left without goodbye, leaving his torn shirt behind. I have soaked it in my own tears. I remember the blurred out memories. It's been months, or is it years, since my love has left me, I fear. His smile, his laugh that made my day, how we always knew exactly what to say. I not leave my house not once. Half-eaten tangerines decorate my room. This is all I have left of him. There is a tube of toothpaste in my bathroom from when we used to share. I have it framed near the sink, and as I wash my face, I am reminded of him. Why is it he has left me? I never yelled or hurt or lied. When he was with me, neither of us cried. I thought with my heart this was forever. I cannot bear much longer to go without him. Will he ever come back for me? I read through the letters I wish to send. My dreams reek only of his face. I wish I could say how much I care once again, for my heart beats only for you. Is Void Before Sleep. And for once, maybe things appeared to be less painful, less spoken about, like a quiet, lingering feeling, a sigh of relief, yet of exhaustion. The exhaustion of 1,000 smiles, of too many words, and of little hope. I am not one to fear, but I fear now. I am amused, fully convinced of the beauty of these complexities. Our universe, our planets we have through little eyes only, the stars that shine too brightly to think for, and the moon all living with seeing eyes ponder towards. I fear not many days, but I fear today. The perceptions of my own dreams cause my own existence to wash. If reality is but a restriction of my dreams, will it be all right? If to pass through is to sleep, will I dream afterwards for all eternity? If there is truly no void, or if there is to be, will the world I dream of pool over my eyes? Will I only close my subconscious to see another world? And may all my afterlife be filled with foolish hallucinations of wonders beyond human capacity? Tell me, should I? This is Catching Clowns, Take 3. Last night, I dreamt of a little town hidden by clouds. Up on a hill in California, this large, happy place. I entered a house seeking a place to sleep, for even in my dreams, my brain wishes rest. Little did I know, this was merely a test. Sad clowns enter the room in bright red uniform. Claws long and yellow, smelling of gasoline. They hold plates of rotten pizza and cups of dark green juice. Each had a painted face with chalky white paint. Who are you? I asked meekly. One tall clown stared at me deeply. His blue and green tinted eyes reminded me of ocean waters. You have always been here. Have I truly? But I remember my home. Stay here with us. It's better this way. The smell of rotten vegetables caused me to run. Oh, come back here, everything's just begun. Running through the door and into the grass. Where am I running? Where even am I anymore? My nails turn into long claws and they smell of baby oil. I look to find myself in uniform as well as I touch my face to feel thin white paint. To say the truth, I feel lost yet found. I turn around in the direction of the house and make my way, my smile turned into frown. They are me, I am them, waiting for the next human gem. I have always been here. The Old Music Club, Take 2. The streetlights hum like old guitars, strumming out the night, the streets outside an old music club bathed in the soft moonlight. Old folk played harmonica, their tunes carrying through the town, into the ears of younger generations, their hearts tender, soft, and sound. Some days, the occasional marketer would stroll on by to buy a drink and chat with dames that had nothing much better to do. The air felt warm as the loners would sing their tunes like the blues. To the souls with cash to spend, to those among friends, and to the ones just looking for a place to attend. As the night grew darker, the streets more scarce, you'd catch a poet or two, journals in hands, expressions twisting on their faces as they contort to the sound of their own words. Won't you be in my dreams? Too much to bear, and yet I think of you often. I stumble on my own thoughts, over-rationalizing your existence, questioning the dice that were rolled to get to this point. I keep whispering to the stars where you are, and I ask the moon for your memories and hush the clouds to your fears. When I fall, I dream of watercolor music, bleeding chairs, and eyes more lovely with life than film photographs. For I care, and I listen to your voice as you go on about colorful creatures and made-up dynamics of a reality much further than our own, leaning closer to observe a language I never learned to speak. And with each day I ask, won't you be in my dreams? And perhaps for once a body there will stay a body here, your rising sun with popcorn-colored laughter and kind manner. You were always too familiar with a mirage.